Hi Luxury Home Show, I'm Beatrice and welcome to this newly built 6-bedroom home by TB Projects. Come and take a look around. This was always meant to be the statement piece of the home, and I think it absolutely encapsulates that. So what I love about this is they've really thought about the intricacies of design here and how they can best advantage, I suppose, of the space. Literally a stone's throw away from the back door, you've got the state-of-the-art gym. Kind of got it all really, to be honest with you. So before I take you inside, it would be criminal to not give you a little bit of an insight as to what the client's choices were on the external facade of this property. They wanted a statement, but they also wanted to keep it relatively relaxed. With that, they decided to choose a gorgeous brick. We've got lovely details in and around the arch windows, not to mention portico stone as you come straight through with the columns and also the windowsills. No house is complete without a phenomenal driveway for multiple cars and extensive, beautiful landscaping, not only at the front, but also when I show you at the back later. So come on in guys, so you've got just under 5,000 square foot of versatile living accommodation, and the client's real wish for the open or initial space was to make it really welcoming, bit of a wow factor, but immensely practical. So what you see here is you've got a nice two-tone flooring for practicalities, a little bit of visual appeal, and then the remaining flooring that runs throughout most of the property, obviously being the wood. You've got hopperhead Farrow and Ball paint on the walls, obviously. We have to have some paneling along the way, and then juxtaposed with the darkness, with the really light entranceway, with the crittle doors that then follows through as we come through to the kitchen. So running as a consistent theme throughout the house, the clients were desperate to ensure that they had natural light throughout, and this room absolutely epitomizes it. Welcome to the hub of the home, the kitchen cum diner family room. Starting with the most exquisite, exceptionally large island I think I've possibly ever seen. Duck egg blue, beautiful cabinetry. You've also obviously got the roundature of the OG 30mm granite worktops. This was always meant to be the statement piece of the home, and I think it absolutely encapsulates that. So running on from sort of the crittle doors, we've then got sort of the dark black appliances all being Miele. They wanted to keep all those bits and pieces exceptionally high quality. We've obviously gone for the brushed brass fixtures and fittings, so that runs the same with all the hardware on the handles. We've got pantries, we've got wine fridge, obviously. The family wanted a practical space, obviously with lots of storage, and they wanted an environment where all the family and indeed friends could come and sort of spend time. I think initially they were worried that the space was going to be too vast, but with the help of the contractor, they came up with ideas where they could, separate certain areas of the house. So zoning was really important. So over here, we've obviously got that really casual seating space, a place to relax, spend time perhaps throughout the day and then running into the evening. But they also wanted to make sure that they had a casual breakfast bar as well to enjoy sort of in the mornings and throughout the day, especially with having young children. This was always going to be a practical, most lived in space. So standing in the centre bit of the kitchen is really exciting because you get to really see the nuances of the lighting design and also really the copper ceilings. So where TB Projects really came into their own was where they're a specialist contractor. They had specific lighting engineers and they really explored that to the max. So with the copper ceilings, not only is it adding height and interest and depth, it's also obviously hiding quite a multitude of bits and pieces that actually you don't want to see, the runnings of the house, etc., etc. But in addition to that, you've also got a lot of mood lighting here. So you'll see, obviously, you've got your chandeliers and your pendant points, you've got your sunken LED lighting, and then as you come around this side, you've also got some lovely detailing in the floor. So you've got your LEDs running alongside the worktops, and then moving on to the playroom. So the clients were really keen to be able to make sure that their children were being seen and they weren't tucked around the corner. So they put this here as a practical sense, but actually with the idea that as the children get older, they can repurpose this space to be something else rather than having them sort of tucked around the corner. And that was an element of space planning that TB Projects really, really took quite seriously because they wanted to ensure that actually the house works not just for how the family lives now, but as they progress and change and their family needs, differ over time. We see more and more these days clients actually not wanting the quintessential formal dining room. And this was something that the clients really mirrored when they started to plan this space, which is what can we do with this space that's going to actually bring the inside out and vice versa. And putting this dining room table there to seat the 8 people was, the desired plan from the onset. A lot of natural light in the summer with all the doors open. And then obviously not to mention the incredible skylight that brings all the light down into the space. So welcome to the bougiest boot room / dog re-entering the house, hopefully with clean paws, utility room. So you've got the antique rose cabinetry, and it's a matte finish, which is really practical. So obviously comings and goings can all be really cleaned up. So you've got the beautiful brushed brass metal hardware, and then the stunning Belfast sink. So welcome to the subsidiary living space. One thing the clients were really keen to have was not an overly formal living area, but still have the wow factor and the grandeur that you'd expect of a house of this type. So many of the areas that they started to encapsulate sort of the wow factor in was in the detailed cornice, and then obviously the beautiful replica down here on the mantle of the fireplace. One of the areas that I particularly love with the attention to detail is the reclaimed farmhouse brickwork that mirrors that of the property on the externals, and bringing that sort of outside inside. So one of the lovely features of the living room space is the oriel window that's got the stunning banquette seating. And what I really love about this is the juxtaposition of the modern window casing, which brings in obviously a shed load of natural light, versus the sort of slightly more classic nature of the arch window casing on the sash windows on the front of the property. So the owners commissioned this beautiful piece of joinery, all done in-house by TB Projects. So what's lovely about that is their real sense of craftsmanship and design detail. So you've got the beautiful backing here, alongside the lovely work along the bottom, and then the deep set joinery piece there, which keeps everything in a really formal manner, but equally all tucked away, and allows them to showcase bits and pieces of the family, and obviously statement interior design, which looks beautiful against the stunning FF&E choices as we come into the sitting space. So TB Projects worked with the client to understand how they wanted each room to look and to feel, the practicalities and the aesthetics. So with the space planning of this room, the owner was really keen to be able to have a lavish place to sit, lots of guests, but in a comfy, cozy sort of aspect and environment. They also wanted to really make use of the beautiful light, and that comes through with all the architects detailing on the arch windows and obviously all the glass, nicely contrasted with the slightly more modern black crittle door. As you come through here, you'll see that they've got all the media set up. They wanted a really big television to be able to entertain, sit and enjoy with family and friends. They wanted to ensure that all the workings of the televisions was tightly put behind so you couldn't see it, and then it kept that really clean lines throughout the rest of the display. So finishing off in the living room, we're now back in the entrance hall. So there's a couple of additional rooms I would love to show you guys around. So the first being the study, which is conveniently placed at the front of the house, and then into one of the most exciting rooms of the house, the downstairs toilet. So welcome to this impactful downstairs toilet. So you've got fantastic wallpaper, quite a statement. It's by Good & Craft, and it's called Living Water, which I absolutely love. Now, some people would have been a bit afraid to do a really dark paint work alongside, but I actually think it's worked out really well. It's memorable, it's a bit of a statement, and why not, when it's the smallest room of the house, make a bit of an impact? So heading upstairs, you've got the continuous oak handrail, the curved spindles, and then the lovely runner, which takes you from the wooden floor, and then the runner takes you all the way upstairs towards the carpet on the landing. So now we're up on the first floor. This boasts 4 good-sized bedrooms. You've got a really expansive landing with ample amount of natural light, and obviously we've got to give credit to the beautiful chandelier. So why don't you come through and take a look at the guest bedroom? So the contractor really wanted to emphasise the lovely height ceilings, and the way that they've done that is to add in a picture rail here. Alongside the sort of slightly more neutral interiors in here, they decided they wanted to have a little bit of a fun with some patterns and colours and create this bespoke headboard. So you've got, as said, the contrasting patterns, and then you've got the lovely blue piping just to add a little bit more depth and interest. So in addition to the beautiful built-in joinery, this bedroom also boasts a lovely ensuite. So you've got the lovely floating vanity unit here with the Lusso stone, all curved once again, just to add a little bit of detail. They've gone for chrome finishes throughout. We've got the mosaic tiles on the bottom, which nicely then leads into the Lusso stone, both obviously on the vanity unit and then also the tile of choice in the shower. So finishing up from the spare room, it's a really good time to mention about all the smart home functions that the developer had worked with the client to put into the house. So from controlling lights, heating, obviously all the gates to the front of the property, as well as all the security functional, can all be done remotely here or on your phone. But for now, let's go and take a look at the children's bedrooms. So a whole lot of pink in one room. The owners really wanted to have bedrooms for their children that yes, worked for the ages that they're currently at, but also we're going to transcend as they got older. So having lots of space, ample storage, at the moment probably full with lots of toys, but as they get older, then can be moved obviously to their clothes. In the same breath, they wanted to have adequate space to be able to have desks and dressing tables so that the rooms don't just work for the here and now, but there's longevity with the design. So as I'm about to come past the stairs, I think it'd be a really good time to note that actually when the client moved in, they were umming and ahhing about what they were going to do with the space on the top floor. And the contractor said, move in, live with the space, and then see how you get on. So they have decided that they're going to turn that into an all singing or dancing soundproof cinema, which I think is a fantastic idea. And we'll pop up some images of what that's going to look like now. And up there, you've also got a further 2 bedrooms. So similarly to next door, this bedroom obviously at the moment very much fit for a sweet little girl, but as she gets older and they want to change potentially the wallpapers or maybe the window fittings, then they're in a position to do so pretty easily. What I absolutely love though is this, yet again, running with a theme throughout the whole of the upstairs, is these lovely bespoke, beautifully shaped headboards, yet again like that of the spare room. We've also got the piping just to add a little bit of detail and depth, a little bit of excitement. So we're now in the family bathroom, similar to that of the secondary suite. We have got the floating hanging vanity unit, yet again with the chrome hardware and the Lusso stone with the curvature here. Lovely sort of mirroring of that material on the bath. And then what I absolutely love is the busyness of the mosaic flooring against the simplicity of the finish of the marble worktops. And now welcome to the stunning principal suite. So what I love about this is they've really thought about the intricacies of design here and how they can best advantage, I suppose, of the space. So they split it into almost 3 sections. So you've got these beautiful doors either side of the bed to add a bit of drama, a little bit of practicality, depending on what side of the landing that you're on. And then you come through to the stunning dressing room. So all bespoke joinery and with a beautiful island, touch of glamour, obviously practicality with a huge amount of storage on either side. I love the glass so you can showcase some of your preferred pieces. And then we have this lovely dressing area here. So you've got the seating with the beautiful upholstery, further storage, and then the perfect place to sit and do your hair and makeup, overlooking the beautiful sash windows and the garden. And that's the beauty of working with TB projects. They can be the main contractor, but they can also be a subcontractor, as they have every in-house capability on site and on hand, whether or not that's tiling, whether or not that's joinery, carpentry. It's all kept in-house so that you know you've got a trusted partner along the way. So coming back into the bedroom element of the master suite, you end the dressing room experience, if you will, with a beautiful full-length mirror. What I absolutely love is the design detail here with having these 2 steps, which nicely leads onto the Juliet balcony. And in the sense of consistency, the developer has popped in these lights again on the woodwork like you see downstairs. Beautiful vaulted ceiling to really have a dramatic either chandelier or in this case pendant light, and then it draws attention to the stunning arch windows with the bespoke shutters. Come take a look at the bathroom. So welcome to the master bathroom. So you've got yet again this double vanity unit floating once again to keep consistent to the other bathrooms, lovely with the curvature. And then what a lovely detail that they've put throughout the bathroom, which I will point out as we go, is the textures on the brassware. So you see that here on the handles, yet again on the sanitary ware, on the taps as well. So moving across into the shower, you've got a mosaic bottom with the beautiful big shower head. Fantastic lit mirrors with all the gadgets and gizmos, stops it from steaming up, and then the lovely wall lights yet again with that same sort of piping mentality that mirrors that of the handles and the sink. So we've got the lovely checkerboard, almost chalky style impactful floor here. That obviously brings us round to the standalone bath. What I love, one of the details in this bathroom, is the fluted sort of marble here, and that's really nicely correlated with the hardware where you can see on the bath and then also here yet again on the sanitary ware there. You then come round to the toilet, all sort of tucked away around here for some extra privacy and sort of adds that slightly hotel feel. So now on to the Juliet balcony, which obviously gives us a lovely view over the garden. And with that, come with me to take a look. So the back of the house is just as important as the aesthetics on the front. The clients wanted a really calm, easy to maintain garden with lots of different areas to enjoy and socialise in. The first part was to ensure that the patio was easy to keep clean, nice to maintain, and alongside the stones that you see around the property, they wanted to make sure that when the sun was out, it reflected all the sun, all the light, as you can imagine. They've added in lots of wall lights in addition to obviously add ambiance in the evening, as well as the most fantastic outdoor kitchen space, complete with gas barbecue and obviously all the workings with hot water, etc., to be able to entertain guests all from outside here. So they wanted, as I said, a really easy to maintain area. So as you come up here, you've got the individual beds, bordering both sides. And then as you come up the stairs, they still wanted to have a little bit of grass so that the children could run around, but nothing that was going to take too much time or maintenance. So with that, I'll take you to the final part of our tour today, which is the fantastic outbuilding space. Now, the client wanted to give something that wasn't going to be too ostentatious in the garden, but also gave and added a huge amount of value when it came to additional square footage. So I welcome you to the gym, doubling up also as an office space. Come and take a look. So no excuse to not work out in this house. Literally a stone's throw away from the back door, you've got the state-of-the-art gym. Obviously with all your mirrors, reclined floor so that any dropping of the weights is not a problem. Free weights here, squat rack there, obviously your punching bag. Kind of got it all really, to be honest with you. Speakers in the ceiling, etc., etc. And then if you're looking for more versatile living space, it's totally equipped for potentially guests or staff, or maybe at a later date if you decided that you wanted the children to have their own sort of hangout playroom, then you've got this as an additional option, or maybe even an additional office, whatever may suit. Thank you so much for joining us on this whistle-stop tour of this 6-bedroom home. If you'd like any more information about TB projects, please look at the information below. And with that, I shall see you guys very soon.
Hi Luxury Home Show, my name is Des Ewing. I'm an architect. I specialise in new build residential properties, and I'd love you to see my new build in Beaconsfield. Come on, head in. We have the living area. The focal point is this magnificent marble fireplace